Hello, my lovers. Welcome to another Character Tuesday. Yes, and I am so excited to be with you this week, guys. Now, fortunately for us, this week we're going to be focusing on something different as usual. So, this week's topic or this week's focus is going to be the gift of change. Yes, my labbers, I said it, change. Now we all know what change means, but in this case, what I'm going to be focusing on is change in your characters. So make your characters change. Characters should grow and change throughout the story, whether for better or for worse. And of course, you guys know when I say for better or worse, I'm talking about having your character appear as a knight in shining armor, cliche of course, or have your character be the worst, darkest villain ever. Whatever you choose your storyline to take on in terms of your character change, that choice is yours. But ultimately, you must implement and include change in your characters. Picture this. You're reading a book or watching a movie, and suddenly the main character undergoes a dramatic transformation and leaves you on the edge of your seat. That is the power of a well-crafted character arc. Let's get started on the 5 pro tips this week that will help you create lasting and effective change in your characters as they evolve and grow over the course of your story. Let's get it, labbers. Are you ready? I know I am. Okay, so first pro tip. Pro tip number 1. Make the transformation gradual. Now, there's nothing worse than having a transformation that's not just juxtaposed, that just sudden, that just happens. Give your transformation the appropriate timing it needs in order to be well executed. Transforming your characters too quickly can seem forced and, of course, unrealistic or inauthentic. It's better to take your time and show the gradual changes in their behavior and in their way of thought. This where their motivations will come alive, and these motivations and thoughts and behaviors will seem original and realistic and applicable to real life. Awesome. So on to pro tip number 2. Give your character a reason to change. Now we all know how important it is to have reasons to do things, but characters, just like persons in real life, will have or will need to have reasons to change. Something in your story should trigger your character's transformation, whether it's a major event, a realization, or a conversation with another character. There must be something that acts as a trigger to ensure that your character is going to be responding to same or probably a lack of response. But you must have a trigger, which is what's going to give your character that reason. Your reason may be physical or non-physical. The choice is yours. Okay, my labbers, on to pro tip number 3. Show the transformation through relationships. Now, as you know, relationships are a very important part of your story. Now, relationships can play a significant role in your character's transformation. I want you to show how the character's relationships change and evolve as they transform, and how they affect the people around them. Remember, relationships are key, and no character is devoid or independent of relationships. Even villains have a past and have a deep-rooted emotional relationship. You, my labbers, will choose how, as writers, to evolve those relationships, create those relationships, and how to make those relationships key to your character's development. On to pro tip number 4. Have consequences. Now, of course, labbers, as you know, everything in life comes with consequences. Now, when you're going to be making your characters change, you have to ensure that you include consequences to drive that point home. So, the character's transformation should have consequences, both good and bad, because you know I like a good villain. It's essential to show the impact of the transformation on the character's life as well as on the people around them. Because without consequences, there will be no real spinning of the story. So you need to include consequences to show basically the transformation and how that transformation will affect the life of the character and the people around the character. All right, and the final pro tip number 5, make the transformation believable. Labbers, I always say authenticity is key. So if you're going to be doing a transformation, ensure that your transformation is the least, or the most rather, believable. The transformation should be believable and logical, given the character's background and experiences. So this is where your research skills are going to come in handy, and this is also where your building and molding of your character is going to be very important to the greater purpose of your character. Now, it is important to make sure that the transformation makes sense, as well as it makes sense in the context of the story you're telling. You're not going to have a character and you're talking about changing that character's response to a particular food when the change is going to be taking place that doesn't involve food. You have to ensure that everything that's connected needs to be connected, and you're showing that interconnectedness and connectedness. Okay, my lovers, so of course, as you know, that's the end of our pro tip series. But before you go, I want to leave you with a quick thought. Remember, characters who change are characters who shine. So give them an unforgettable arc and take your audience on a journey that we won't forget. So remember, Labbers, it is essential to include change not just in your daily life, but when you're building your characters and creating those awesome tales. Thank you for tuning in to Character Tuesday, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next week, where we're going to be getting into some more exciting tidbits about character development. Thanks for tuning in, Labbers. Love, peace, and light. Mwah. Have a great rest of your day.